Hey guys, it is Julesy, and I said I wasn't gonna do this. Well, I didn't say exactly that I was not at all gonna do this. I said that I was not going to be doing video reviews of Underground, and that there might be a chance that I would do blog reviews. So, this is a review of Underground episodes 1 and 2, and what we will be doing is any video review that I do on Underground will be uploaded to my blog, julesy.com. I will not be publicizing it on my YouTube channel. So this helps me because it takes a lot to do reviews, especially of these shows that have more historical value to them. And I make more money when you visit my blog than when you watch me on YouTube. This helps me and it gives you what you want. I might also do this for Greenleaf depending on what the response is, because I definitely don't want to particularly be known as a TV reviewer. That's not what Smart Brown Girl is about, and I need to get back into doing more Smart Brown Girl content overall. And as you can see, and as you can see, I have Smart Brown Girl long sleeve t-shirts. I actually have long sleeve for Smart Brown Girl and Stay Blessed and Unbothered. Stay Blessed Unbothered is unisex for the men and women. Smart Brown Girl is obviously for the women. So shop smartbrowngirl.com. There's currently a 15% everything in the store coupon happening right now in honor of my B-Day. I have a P.O. box. Anyways, there we go. I don't know if it's going to happen this week, but definitely we will hit that flow, and I will have a better idea of how that flow will go next Thursday, and I'll have it all in that blog. So let's just get into this review of episodes 1 and 2. I think most people are excited about Underground because Harriet Tubman is a character in the show now. And like when I was watching it, I was just thinking, I think it's like wrapping my head around the idea that there is actually like a slave thriller that is not, a spaghetti western like Django was. That this is actually turning Harriet Tubman into an action hero is just so like, wow. Really taking that in and what she means in history, and to see her on mainstream television as a superhero, I get why so many people are now into the season of the show. Also, the soundtrack is still dope as ever. Opening the first episode with Beyonce's Freedom, like, ooh, okay, I see you. I'm interested though because they opened season 2 with Bokeem Woodson. See him in his Frederick Douglass wig, right? And I believe his name is Daniel. Like, I don't exactly know what he's going to be. Like, who is he? What is but his storyline is running congruent to what is going on with Noah and Rosalie and Stein and him. But we haven't necessarily reached the real arc of his storyline. But that they opened up the show with him means that he is going to be of some significance. For those of you who are watching the show and you have children, regardless of their age, it's a good history lesson to actually look up the names that are mentioned in the cards that the people along the Underground Railroad pathway show as a way to, know who's who. Like, is you a dry snitch? Is you one of us? When Elizabeth walks into the sewing circle house and she has to name those 3 cards, and I believe she does Frederick Douglass, Cassius Marcel Clay, and somebody they all did significant work in the abolitionist movement. And then when Rosalie shows up at that house, I believe that's episode 2, and those cards, I remember Elizabeth Cady Stanton was on it, and she's like a pro-rights woman movement. That's an interesting choice though, because I feel like there was some hiccups between the women's movement and black folks' right, and color me pickled. To look up those names that are being mentioned definitely gives a great history lesson for the kiddies and even for yourself, stay woke. The actress that is playing Harriet Tubman is doing a really good job. I love that it's not a caricature, that it's not a cartoon, that it's not overdone. Even the way they kind of highlight on some of the more mystical elements of Harriet Tubman, in that she had narcolepsy and would pass out at whim, and supposedly she could see things, and spirits was speaking through her. She was a holy woman. The way that it's done is in a very gracious, kind of everyday, not over the top way, and I appreciate that touch from the show. Stein is in South Carolina, and I think this is dope because it will definitely, for all you non-descendants of slaves in America, whether you are descendants of slaves in the Caribbean or you are from the continent, South Carolina, historically, when it comes to the slave trade, when it comes to the Civil War, holds a lot of significance. South Carolina had more slaves than white people at the time of the Civil War. So I think Stein, being in South Carolina, in the coast, where Geechee culture is very strong, and why I called out people of the African diaspora that are not descendants of slaves in America. That's a mouthful. It's because with this discussion that kind of pops up every now and again about African Americans appropriating African culture. Hello, boo. You'll get to see the connections most strongly between West Africa and black slaves off the coast of South Carolina. The coast of South Carolina, Georgia, on down to Louisiana has some of the strongest cultural significance in African American culture overall. Even with the glass bottles hanging on the tree, the lexicon, it has its own linguistic beauty in it, and it is a direct derivative of where we came from, Africa. See how the languages that slaves spoke from their original ethnicities melded with English and turned into its own language, right? And that this accent amalgamated into what we now have as the Southern accent. So don't shade it, right? Because it's steeped in cultural value. I hope Underground is speaking that to you. The first two episodes were a lot of builds up to little things, you know, Elizabeth in the sewing club, John getting killed. Wow. That's really all I said. I was like, oh wow. I wasn't personally like, oh my gosh, because there was no way he could keep living. He was just too bold, too flagrant, not covering up his face. You know, the Second Amendment been written at that point. So like, bruh, pow pow. I just knew it was gonna come because he was just so brazen with it. Like, it was no discretion, bruh. He ain't pledged right. I think this will push Elizabeth to the forefront, and I think that's kind of why the sewing club scene was set up like that, where she brought her sewing kit and she didn't know how to shoot and stuff. And it's that she has kind of been playing the background, this white woman docility, right? But now she gotta step up and step out, and that they expected Rosalie to stay around because Rosalie is John's only family. Like, girl, what? Journey Samale is definitely pregnant. In the first episode, it was like, why are they trying to hide this? But then they revealed it at the end of episode 2. So it was weird that they set it up like that, that they kind of like concealed it when we all knew the actress in real life was pregnant, and then made the big reveal at the end of episode 2. Because it made certain scenes a little awkward in Journey's movement around things, and it wasn't really clear that Rosalie, the character, was actually trying to position herself to hide something. It was like the actress herself was just awkwardly moving. But you know, I guess if it works for them. Stein inhaling the ether. I mean, there's a lot to be said about that whole setup, and that we probably have more sympathy for Stein. In its essence, she a crackhead, right? Like, you know, and how we shame the black people who became addicted to crack during the crack epidemic, right? But within Stein's character, we see what kind of leads her to becoming addicted to this narcotic. But do we not understand that the same and how that's happened in the 20th century for black folk? We don't. The man that she is sleeping with, that is domestically abusing her, he and I, the actor, were actually on we did like a video chat together with Paul Brunson. His name was Rob Riley, I believe. He was fine on the call. I also was like, ooh, you are giving me like Gemini fuckboy tease. You know, you nice though. But he's going full fuckboy in this Underground series. I feel like there's a Hotep message in his character, right? In that the fuckboy mentality of the black man came at the hands of the white man beating him into fuckboy submission. I feel like there's like a Umar Johnson lesson, like a historical non-lesson that folks can run with there. But you know, that's just me messing around. This Annie Oakley wannabe though, like, I'm not ever gonna call her by her real name because she don't deserve it. Annie Oakley wannabe, about to mess up Rosalie's whole swag. Girl, somebody gotta kill her. She gotta go. I don't have the time for it. She's whack. She annoys me. Oh, okay, so Noah being rescued. You know, I don't have a whole lot to say about all these things that kind of happen, because I feel like they're leading up to something bigger, and we're going to kind of see the bigger in episode 3. I feel like I'll have a lot more to say in episodes 3 and 4, because things that are happening now with how they went about trying to rescue Noah, and then him being captured by some like Scottish Irishmen, and his diligence in like breaking down the carriage that he was in, and then Kato, like, this nigga. Okay, but where's James? Where's Stein's youngest son at, right? All these questions I have, I think there'll be a more congruent thought come episode 3 and 4. I will see you guys this week. If not the latest, I will see you next week. There is a blog post to read down below, and my blog thoughts, my written thoughts will be way more clearer than this here, but you know, it's always good to have a key with y'all. All right, shop smart, brown girl, support. I love y'all. I hope y'all love me too. I'm just trying to, express my gratitude by doing what y'all asked me to do, okay?